Bobcat Live, a special Wednesday edition. We are inside Rosie's tonight here on KFJB-TV. Great to have you tuned in here at youtube.com/KFJB-TV. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and get upcoming game alerts, and we'll let you know when Dylan Dose is going to be on a broadcast next. People were missing you last night, like Coach Appel. He'll join us in our first segment of the night tonight, but how are you?
I'm doing well.
You've been a traveling man. You went to Des Moines today. You went to Iowa City last weekend. Yeah.
I went to Iowa City longer than I anticipated, that's for sure. We got a good 4-day weekend out of it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
for sure.
No, it was good.
For sure. Pretty soon, people are going to be getting more than they want of Dylan Dose.
That's right. Brandon's going to take a hiatus, and what the crowd has desired and called for. I am what Reggie Jackson says, the straw that stirs the drink, right? So,
something like that.
Or stirs the stuff, right?
Action-packed show here tonight. We've got boys basketball, girls basketball, girls wrestling, boys wrestling, and also the boys swim team. So a lot coming up on the program tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to go next with boys basketball. Fresh off a win last night against the Des Moines East Scarlets. We'll break that down and much more coming up on Bobcat Live from Rosie's inside Wayward Social on KFJB-TV. As you walk inside, you know right away the place for fun is Wayward Social. There's always plenty of bowling action, so plan for your next outing to include bowling at Wayward Social. Also, meet your friends for lunch, dinner, or your favorite beverages. You will also absolutely love their daily lunch specials, Monday through Friday, including endless pizza by the slice. You choose the toppings. Wayward Social is now open at 11:30 a.m., 7 days a week. Wayward Social on South 6th Street in Marshalltown.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Scouts in Marshalltown go on fun adventures. Scouts learn about the outdoors. Scouts learn character building. Scouts learn citizenship. Scouts learn life skills. Scouts learn to be leaders. Scouts go to fun summer camps, and Scouts get a head start in life. Marshalltown has produced over 200 Eagle Scouts in our over 70-year history and have provided over 1 million hours of service to our community. To learn more about joining Scouting in Marshalltown, go to iascouts.org. Adventure on!
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Bobcat Live inside Rosie's at Wayward Social. Talk a little boys basketball now. Fresh off a win last night, 49-33, the final score. We bring in head coach Mike Appel. Coach, we touched a little bit about the initial reaction from that one last night. Maybe not the cleanest game overall, a little bit of rust and being off a little while, but at the end of the day, got the win. Improved to 5-5, kind of spring you into this weekend activities Friday and Saturday, but kind of an initial reaction, about 24 hours later to that win last night.
Yeah, exactly right. We found a way to win, and I thought our defense was good enough to win us that game, holding them 11 points that first half. Good to get a win when we're not necessarily shooting the ball well either, so there's some positives to take away from it. Just a weird deal after taking a long break. That's not an easy thing to do, to jump back in and play a game. But proud we got it done, and proud of our guys and how we responded today, and how well we practiced today, actually, more than anything.
Yeah, I know Kyle Smith, his shot maybe not falling as much as he had hoped to last night, but Cory Smith, who joining us here tonight, 17 points last night. The corner pocket is kind of your spot. You nailed a couple threes. Is that your spot on the floor if you got to make one?
Yeah, I would say it is.
That's the spot. So 17 points last night. Seems like you've been really coming along. Things getting real comfortable out there for you. How would you kind of assess your game at this point in the season for you?
I think I would say my biggest strength would probably be down in the paint. I can count on my teammates to get it in, and I can kick it back out, and then we can get threes going, and then we get momentum going. So that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
And it seems that, Cory, you have a pretty high basketball IQ, which makes perfect sense, the family that you come from. But it seems like throughout the year you're a bit of a Swiss Army knife. Sometimes it's at defensive intensity, sometimes it's the ball passer, just the facilitator, other times rebounder. When do you know, let me put on my scoring hat, no, I need to get some passes, get a steal? How do you look at the game that way?
Yeah, I mean, we got good players like Carter and Trey, and if they're having a bad game, then that's when I know I need to step up and make some plays, dish out to the other guys, get facilitating. So,
and from a senior perspective, you're coming off not playing near as many games as I know you would have wanted to. All 3 canceled last week. Now you're getting into makeup time where you're going to have 3 games in 5 days. As a senior leader, how do you help get your teammates and yourself ready for that?
Well, I mean, after not playing for a little bit, we're going to be a little sluggish. So I think the main thing would be in practice is just, a lot of energy, focusing up, when you got to be locked in and get some work done. So.
Giving up only 33 points, Coach, I'm sure that was kind of a good thing to see, right? I mean, especially on that defensive end. I know that was really kind of going into that game. You mentioned that in our pregame chat of that being one of your points on being able to hang your head on was good defense.
Yeah, the first time we played them, they had 32 points. We just made more open shots the first time we played them. So, our guys understood that they didn't necessarily play every play as hard as they could. They took some plays off and kind of went through the motion sometimes. And, I'm happy that they do realize that and just how they responded and how much energy and effort we gave today in practice to get ready for Friday.
Of course, you played at the collegiate level. Did you ever have a week like last week where you get all these games canceled and you got the layoff and then you kind of try to work back into it?
Yeah, no, I've been there as a player. It's really hard. It's really hard to stay locked in and focused. So as a coaching staff, we try and do a good job of mixing it up and keeping our guys engaged and doing different things to keep them competitive in practice. And, for the most part, they do a nice job of that. It's not always perfect by any means, but, speaking of that, that's where Cory's made, the most strides. Just how he approaches every single day, how much effort he's giving in practice. That's where he's just been a lot more consistent, and it's showing, with what he's doing on the court.
Yeah. We talked about, the unknown or the unforeseen weather aspect, but I'm also thinking up to Waterloo West is, that we have played them historically, but we have not played them recently. Having an unknown opponent as well, what does the scout look like from both the coaching staff and then disseminating that to your team?
Yeah, it's a team you're not necessarily familiar with, so you got to watch a little more film just to know who personnel is and guys are, just because you've never seen them before. And they're from a really tough conference. Mississippi's a really, really good conference, good teams there, where they have to compete every night. And so it's a little more challenging as far as that goes, just because we're a little more unfamiliar. But we feel like we got a decent grasp on what they're trying to do right now.
They've got a guard that scores 22 points a game, so defense is probably going to be the number one assignment for Friday.
I'll tell you what, he's probably the most skilled guy I've seen that we've played, as far as just how his ability to score it, his athleticism, how well he shoots it, his motor. He plays extremely hard all the time. He's averaging 8 rebounds a game as well. And that's probably who Cory's going to have to guard. I know we haven't talked a lot about that yet.
Hey, surprise.
He's a good player. He hasn't played the last few games, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's back for us, though. So,
Cory, what's your kind of scouting outlook, getting ready for each and every game? You like Dylan kind of alluded to, playing a team you haven't played. So, what's your kind of approach when you go into those kind of games?
Well, I honestly didn't know I was going to guard that.
Hey, don't let that hold you back.
Yeah, Breaking news here on Bobcat Live.
So I'm going to watch some film on him, and I think the main thing for our team would just be look at the bigs. That's kind of something that most of the teams have that we play that we don't. So we got to make sure that when they get the ball in the paint, that we got to crash and we got to kind of almost hack,
So you got to watch that foul trouble. No, just kidding. But you're going to play Friday and then turn right around, go in the evening on Saturday. So a good test though for you guys, right?
Both Waterloo schools.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen too often.
And coming up in the next, I don't know if it's next year or next couple of years, they're going to be combining into one school district. So that'll be interesting for sure. All right, so 5-5 at this point in the season. You still have a ton of games ahead of you. I mean, I'm sure it's kind of hard to be like just one game at a time approach, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we try and do, though. We're focused on West right now, and that's our game. That's what we're focusing on these next two practices, and then from there, Saturday, obviously, a quick turnaround. We'll worry about East then, but we know you have to take one game at a time and worry about who we're playing next, and how we approach each day shouldn't really change that. It should be consistent with how hard we're practicing, regardless of who we play.
Yeah. And a question again from a bit of just preparing is you have a back-to-back. Usually in high school we do that often in the first couple weeks of the season, don't really do it again. From a coaching staff perspective, how do you handle that of getting ready for the game at hand, but you also have to have some information in your back pocket for day number 2?
It's a lot easier than it used to be. With Huddle now, it's all online. You have access to every game they've played, and we're fortunate enough to have 4 coaches on our varsity staff, so we split up 2 and 2, and we'll have 2 coaches take one team, 2 take the other, and we'll focus on it that way, just to get our guys in a position to understand what they're trying to run offensively and defensively. Baseline out of bounds we spend a lot of time on. We try and limit how much they score on the baseline out of bounds, and hopefully we have the advantage of scoring, out of those. So that's kind of how we approach each week.
That's a part of the game that maybe people overlook, right? I mean, those little things. It's kind of like special teams in football. People overlook that, but it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, so I got that. That's what Brenner used to do at MCC. If we can beat them +8 was a goal. Baseline out of bounds, that's huge. And he got that from Larry at ISU. That's something he's talked about a long time. And we've been okay at baseline out of bounds plays, but I feel like we could even get better and just really emphasize, or really focus on what's open there. Look at some slip guys at the rim sometimes that we're missing, but for the most part we've done a nice job of getting open looks, out of those.
Yeah, and I'm just intrigued on the coaching thing so far tonight is you talked about having those 4 coaches, and we've talked a lot about Brynjar just because of his experience. But with additional assistant coaches, I think a lot of people don't understand how important their work is, not just on the bench where we may not see them stand up and stuff, but in the scout, in the practices. Can you speak to your assistant coaching staff about your assistant coach staff?
No, it's just huge. It's huge understanding what the other team's trying to do, so our guys are ready for it, and they're not, getting easy baskets where we're not ready for a set, and they get too easy points. When you get down the stretch of games where you're playing good teams, that's an extremely important thing, to be able to understand what they're trying to run and what their tendencies are and who their scorers are and what they're good at, and try and take away what they do.
I know Coach Stoner in there in the mix too. 4th coach, is that Ryan or?
Yeah, Ryan.
Okay,
so Ryan's on the show here.
Okay,
so
all right.
He's a big talker.
Yeah. All right, so we've got a busy weekend in store for you guys. By the way, I know last week at Bobcat Live, appreciate you guys. We've got some of the basketball players out here tonight as well. You guys had the kind of a pizza / bowling party. Who won overall?
My team. Carter actually cheated, and he started putting strikes in for his score, and he ended up getting a 300. So then it was like, that's out the window.
Typical. That's fun. What other kind of things do you guys do? I mean, it's not all playing basketball or going to school, right? Or you don't want to tell?
No. Keeping it close to the vest.
Really cool thing about Cory here is, so obviously I coached with his dad. His dad coached me.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott, and it's a huge reason why I'm even the head coach is because of Scott Smith. And I've had the opportunity to coach all of Cory's brothers now, other than Nathan, which eventually maybe I will one day. But at camps I've coached him. but I've coached his 2 older brothers. I coached Tony at MCC. I've coached Jacob at the high school when I took over, and he was a really, really good player.
Yeah.
So it's really cool just to continue to, coach these Smith boys, and just the progress Cory's made has been huge, and it's been fun to see.
Yeah, from last year to now, you're a completely whole different player. Do you feel like that too?
Yeah, I think most of my improvements came from going to the Y. During the summer, putting in a lot of work, and
you seem more confident too.
Yeah.
A lot more confidence. He's understanding. He's very skilled. He's always been that way. He has the ability to score it, but he's understanding a lot more of when the right time to do that, when the right time to drive, when the right time to post. His motor has been way better, just as far as how hard he plays. And that shows because a lot of times we're telling them to guard their best player, and that's huge.
And I like that you let your brother be out there outside and shoot the long shots, but you're down there working in the paint. You got some of those spin moves. I saw some good moves down low. You've been working on those, huh?
Yeah, mostly against Kyle when we 1v1.
That will gain your confidence, huh? Against a three-point shooter.
Put them in the post, put them in the spin cycle. That's the way to do it.
Hey, good stuff. Thanks for the time for joining us tonight, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Waterloo West is on tap Friday night. 7:45 is tip-off. We'll have that one for you here on KFJB-TV. Coming up next, we are going to switch gears, and we will talk wrestling. We'll talk boys wrestling as well as girls wrestling coming up. This is Bobcat Live from Wayward Social on KFJB-TV.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started by giving Zach Wall a call at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown or visiting edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
There's a city within a city not far from here. The city includes a beautiful apartment building with indoor parking, a chapel, a movie theater, a swimming pool, exercise and recreational facilities, putting greens, and more. The city isn't really a city, but it is a wonderful place to live. Make friends and live your best life. It's the Embers Retirement Community in Marshalltown. The Embers provides security, independence, and companionship. Beautiful grounds outside and lovely studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments inside. See it for yourself. The Embers in Marshalltown.
At Honest Heating and Cooling, they take comfort seriously. Their latest offering? Smart Integrity Monitoring. Combined with an honest maintenance plan, it takes all the guessing out of home comfort. Their technicians take accurate measurements of all the necessary parameters and deliver you the truth about where your home's comfort stands. If you're not measuring, you're just guessing. That's honest. Get a Smart Integrity Monitoring plan and let the Honest team watch over your home's comfort 24/7. Honest Heating and Cooling.
With over 10,000 cars at our disposal, Janssen Ford...
Hold on. That's not really how we do things at Janssen Ford.
How about, it's never been a better time to buy a brand new...
Yeah, we don't really do that either. When you're ready to buy a car, we'll be ready to help.
Try this. We'll get you in and out faster than a speeding...
We don't do that either. At Janssen Ford, we'll take as much time as you need to find the right vehicle. We're not just moving cars, but we're building relationships.
Oh, maybe more of a... This is where your family buys their vehicles.
There you go. More like that.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live from Wayward Social inside Rosie's. Zach, are we going to get camera 2 shot over? We got to sing happy birthday. I forgot to mention Cory Smith. Is he still here? He bolted. He bolted because we said we were going to sing happy birthday, so he got out of here. All right. Oh, well, Cory celebrating a birthday today as well. Switching gears, talking wrestling. Coach Cross, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Looking forward to tomorrow night. Fort Dodge is going to be in town. Good matchup there. They're always a tough competitor.
Yeah, I believe currently they're ranked either 3rd or 4th in the state in the dual ranking, so they are a high-quality team for sure.
Yeah, we'll have that one for you here on KFJB-TV. A guy who's must-watch TV, whether he's on the football field or he's on the wrestling mat. Johan Gomez, how are you?
Oh, good.
Good. I absolutely, we had a blast watching you at the Allie Morrison duels. A really cool experience. Since we last talked, you guys had that, and it was such a an important, to me, I thought it was important that same teams from a year ago, you brought back some really good competition. Roosevelt's, I'm struggling to think of all the teams. Johnston, North Polk, Webster City, and Cedar Falls. And the Webster City one went down to the wire. You guys got a huge win right there at the end to get the 6 points and end up winning that one. But Johan, you had a great day there at the Allie Morrison Duels. Talk about that experience of a day long like that. I mean, you got to kind of manage your body, I'm sure, to be able to make it through all those matches.
Yeah, it's just like really a process of like maintaining your energy and just preserving what you can for the next match and just taking it a match at a time.
For you guys to get second there, how big was that?
It was pretty good. That's like the closest we've ever gotten to winning in a really long time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And you look at that, want to be interested in just a long day like that. You said, conserving your energy. What do you actually do to make sure that happens? What does that process look like?
Just make sure you're doing the things you're doing and rest all you can off the mat. Just make sure you're hydrated and ready to go.
And when you look at, and then you get that second place finish, and I know Coach has talked about there's increased expectations from the team as a whole. I'd love to know, as a junior leader, what are your expectations of your team and then for you individually?
Just to put out a show and just represent Marshalltown as a team and just put a good word out there for us.
How physically grinding is if you go the distance, 6 minutes out there on the mat, how much is that taken out of you?
It could be really tough because since I'm a smaller guy at this weight class, I'm usually just not as strong as the other guys, but I do pretty well with my speed.
Yeah. What's your mentality when you go into something where you're not sure who you may wrestle? I don't know. Did you know everybody you were going to wrestle at that, or?
Not everybody. It was always a question on who would wrestle, but just my mindset out there is just to go out there and dominate the match.
And that's usually what you do, for the most part. Yeah. That mentality, is that something you kind of grew up with, or maybe you and Xavier kind of working together? That kind of, it seems like you guys are very, both, we talked to him too, very confident in your abilities.
Yeah, as a wrestling partner, we just go at it with each other every day and try to get each other better and just, show the team, to follow, basically, just work hard and they'll be able to do stuff.
It seems like wrestling may be the day-to-day of it, that day-to-day competition, even internally, is not maybe unique to the sport, but most focused maybe in wrestling. Coach Cross, having that level of competition every single day in the room, what does that do for your student athletes?
No, that's a great thing to have in the room. We always talk about having success begets success. So if you have a high-quality wrestler like Johan in the room, you're either going to leave the room or emulate that process, emulate what he's doing. So you have Johan and Xavier wrestling each other all practice long. It's like a state wrestling tournament match every single practice. And the kids that are around there, they're either copying that or they're avoiding it and getting away, and results show the kids that copy it get their hand raised a lot.
Yeah.
How much has the culture or the experience or just the wrestling program improved in your time, Johan?
It's always been good. Getting here my freshman year, I made it on varsity. The team was already pretty solid, and it was just a benefit to the team to add on another source of points.
Yeah. So how was practice today?
It was good. A little hard.
I can tell you look like you look like you've been through a little bit here today. But what's a typical practice, Coach?
Well, it does kind of depend. We don't really let off the gas too much, and there's certain times. Just recently, I had the whole team, girls included. We were in our stances. We did a stance for over 10 minutes. I wasn't even keeping track of time. I was just challenging them to really just stay in the stance for as long as you can. And just finding the breaking point with these kids is becoming a difficult thing to do because they're very, very tough. And the boys and the girls teams, they're just very tough competitors. And we do a lot of drilling, a lot of technique. like for me, technically, my strongest points were on the top side of wrestling. So when we're wrestling in the room, I do a lot of top work. So that's where I call Coach Miller and others people to work on neutral and bottom work and so forth. So we all kind of, the coaches feed off each other, and we have a plan every day and what to do with technique. And then as far as wrestling goes, we do a lot of live wrestling. There's times when we just do 3 matches back to back to back, and that helps them prepare for those matches you're talking about. How can you survive a 6-minute match, especially against bigger guys? Well, Johan survives 18-minute matches. Right? So we push him hard.
Yeah, I'm sure that definitely makes a huge difference. All right, so second place, a big deal though, right? I mean, because it'd been a while since I don't really know, but somebody told me it had been quite a few years since you got second place or higher at the Alleymore Schools.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time we got second place was. The last time we won, it was like 1998.
Yeah.
And last time we had a medal was probably 15 years ago, so it's been a bit.
Yeah.
It is also really gratifying because going into it, I had an interview with Times Republican, and I told them, it's like, we could go 1-4 today, or we could go 4-1. I don't know where we're at, because North Polk is a ranked team in 2A, and so is Webster City. So to beat those two teams was a big step for us.
Yeah, for sure. So how's the season been going since then?
Great. We obviously with the weather, we had a little adversity in our schedule last week.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to Bettendorf for a big tournament on Friday and Saturday, and last minute that got canceled, rightfully so. And then we were hoping to get into the Ankeny tournament on Saturday. They were still going to try to hold it, and that got canceled last second. And the boys were eager to wrestle, and I said, "You guys want to wrestle?" And they're like, "Yeah." I said, well, Cedar Rapids Jefferson moved their tournament from Saturday to Monday, and we wrestled on Monday. It was the first time I've ever had a wrestling tournament on a Monday, which is weird.
Yeah.
But it worked out. With Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we could, we had the day off, and no problem. So the boys did a wonderful job there.
Yeah, awesome. How'd you do?
First.
Okay, all right, congrats. All right, so that gets you all set up, ready to go. You've had practice this week. You're going to take on Fort Dodge tomorrow night. What do you know the biggest challenge in taking on the Dodgers?
With Fort Dodge, we have to, it might be a situation where we have to win the moments, We might not get our hand raised, to be realistic about it, in quite a few matches. But we have to have a growth mindset in everything we do. So I'm not saying that we're going to go out there and lose, but that's always the goal, is to win, right? So, but we have to look at it in perspective and just realize that in some of these matches we are outgunned, just cold, hard fact. And so we have to win the moments in matches and say, all right, in this moment, in that match, you did a great job, and here's where you're getting better.
And I look back to the Webster City match. You had a freshman stepping in there. I'm sure you're familiar with the freshman who won that last one, right?
Yeah, I might know him.
Your son, and watching him step up in a big moment, I mean, that's kind of what you're going to need tomorrow night, right? Guys to step up and maybe win a match that they're not expected to.
Yeah, absolutely. It was cool to have my son be part of that process there in that match. And all the guys have that same mentality. If it would have ended on any one of the wrestlers, I think we would have the same outcome. They all have the drive to just do it for themselves, but also do it for the team. And I was happy for him, but I wasn't surprised. I knew it was going to happen. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Dad believing in his son, that's awesome.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that is for sure. All right, so we look forward to it. Tomorrow night, break down the night for me a little bit against Fort Dodge, as you're going to have JV first, right?
Yeah, and we still don't have the lineups for JV, but they'll probably have a good number of JV. We've lost a few JV wrestlers recently, so we're not as heavy loaded as we were before. So we'll do JV and then varsity match, and it should be a relatively quick duel.
Yeah, looking forward to it tomorrow night here on KFJB-TV. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, we will talk girls wrestling with Coach Ross, and Ava Kuzero will join us right here on Bobcat Live from Wayward Social on KFJB-TV. He's dropped back, looks to pass. He's got hit in the flat. He's up to midfield. He breaks away at the 40, 30, 20. 10, touchdown. Tate Ring, his second one of the night. Welcome in to Bobcat Live. We are inside Rosie's at Wayward Social. Back in at Bobcat Live, Wayward Social. Great to have you tuned in tonight. Brandon Lewis, Dylan Knows, Coach Cross staying with us as Ava Kuzaro joins us. Ava, I am so used to seeing you out there on the softball diamond, but I've seen you on the mat a lot this year and having a pretty good year. First year, right?
Yeah.
So how's it been going in your mind?
Pretty good. At first, I didn't have much confidence, but I grew it a lot.
Good. So, Coach Cross, what's it like to coach you?
It's been a great experience. Just all the girls, she's got a really great growth mindset. She's trying to get better every single day, every single practice. And, we did have some moments where Ava was, I'm going to pick on her a little bit. We talked about this. At that first tournament, she did not fare very well. Her first time ever wrestling, and she was like, I think she said, I don't think this is for me. Right? And she's ready to call it quits day one, at that tournament. And, she's stuck it out, and just like a lot of girls, and their improvement is just phenomenal. I was sitting there observing them during practice, and I was just thinking, man, these girls are wrestlers. They're looking really good. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. Going into a sport, maybe you don't know all different aspects. I'm sure that's got to be very difficult. I mean, softball, you probably feel comfortable, kind of the way the game works. Now, in high school, you're learning a whole new sport.
Yeah.
So what's that like?
It's pretty good. At first, I was like, practice was definitely different from being outside than going inside, and I like it a lot better, honestly, being inside, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So when you look, Ava, as Coach talked about, hey, this may not be for me, but there had to be a point before that you're like, you know what?
Yeah, I was talking to my mom saying it's not for me, and she's like, well, there's no backing out. And I was like, okay.
That's good parenting. What was it about wrestling that drew you? Because we've seen the competitive nature, definitely on the softball diamond, so it's not completely surprising from an outsider perspective that you would go to wrestling, but what was it about the sport that drew you?
The conditioning and always going and always learning something new. I like that better too. Instead of doing the same thing over and over, we're always learning something new.
Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge all the time. There's certain things like that will catch me off guard because I'm not very deeply knowledgeable about wrestling. I know that's probably shocking to you, but the one thing is like something will go and then you see there. Oh, that's a move that you can't do out there in the middle of it. I mean, all those little things you may not think of, right? They're kind of coming along and. That green and growing kind of aspect, sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When you think about the sport of wrestling, most people look at that and think, oh, just throw that person down, right? And it's not that easy, right? There's so much technical aspects to the sport of wrestling. There's leverage. You might have someone that's super strong, but if they don't have the technique, their chances of them winning is probably limited. So technique and using your leverage properly is really important, and these girls are picking on that really quickly.
On the girls' side of things, at the Allie Morrison duels, I think West Marshall got first place. Yep. Were you guys second?
We got second, yep.
Second. So what was that like for you at the Allie Morrison duels? How'd you do?
It was pretty good. The first girl I had, I lost to her in the beginning, and then I beat her, so that also gave confidence a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, definitely a big accomplishment. Growing in the second year, you've got Fort Dodge. You're going to be with the ladies tomorrow night on the road, right?
Yeah, that is correct. So it'd be kind of strange to not be at a homeboys meet this year, but the girls, I'm with them tomorrow. We're going to Fort Dodge. I love traveling to Fort Dodge. So, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah.
So we have similar experiences in Fort Dodge.
So we're going to head up there for the conference meet, and I believe there's 6 teams that have girls wrestling in our conference because the Des Moines Public Schools are all combined as one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it'll be kind of a late tournament. Get home late, but we're going to have a good time.
And one thing we've talked a lot over the couple years of girls wrestling is a lot of the growth, a lot of the tenacity, teachability. Can you speak specifically on Ava, what you've seen in her growth trajectory and where some goals you have for her for the year?
Yeah, Ava she's really athletic. And people who know her are not surprised by that if you've seen her on the softball field. But she has the athleticism. She has a quality that a lot of girls don't have, or a lot of athletes don't have, and that's just what I'd call just grit. She has this ability just to power through situations that are uncomfortable, and there's no quit in her, and that's what we like to see out of our wrestlers.
So tomorrow night we'll decide who goes on to the next level, or is it just a conference?
It has no bearing on postseason. It's just a conference meet. And I say that like just a conference meet, it's a big deal, right? But really the important one is next Friday, we go to Cedar Rapids for the regional tournament, and at that tournament, the top 4 girls will qualify for state. So the girls' season is coming to a close.
Yeah, I know it always is interesting. It's like girls basketball as well too. It ends kind of a week before the boys get going and everything. So the timelines always kind of sneak up on you. That is for sure. Yeah. But best of luck tomorrow night on the road at Fort Dodge. Thanks for the time. Best of luck for the rest of the season, Ava. All right, Ava Kuzaro, Coach Cross with us here on Bobcat Live. Coming up, we're going to talk girls basketball. They got a big win last night here on KFJB-TV. We saw the end of that one, as we'll break that down next right here on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
How can you help Marshalltown High School and enjoy a mouth-watering burger at the same time? By ordering the Bobcat Burger at Legends American Grill. 2 quarter-pound patties with crisp bacon strips, sauteed onions, and melted American cheddar, jack, and Swiss cheeses on top of fresh shredded lettuce on a toasted bun. It's absolutely delicious. $1 from every Bobcat Burger sold is donated by Legends to Marshalltown High School activities. So, enjoy a Bobcat Burger and help MHS. The Bobcat Burger, another exclusive from Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Some drivers trade cars every year or every other year. Some drive their cars till they drop. Whatever kind of driver you are, Lennox Employees Credit Union is here to get you into the car for your style of driving. You're invited to go to our website, lennoxecu.com, for membership eligibility and loan rates, or call the office to talk to a loan officer. The loan process is quick and easy. Low auto loan rates from Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce reminds you that when you shop locally, you are benefiting members of our community and adding to our local community overall. You'll find local business owners are generally more knowledgeable, provide better service, and even know their customers by name. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce exists to be an advocate for our business community. Membership in the Chamber benefits your business and adds to the strength of our advocacy efforts. For more information on shopping locally and Chamber membership, go to marshalltown.org.
Picture yourself at Marshalltown Community College. Become a Tiger for life. Visit ncc.iavalley.edu. Locations in both Marshalltown and Grinnell.
Bobcat Live and Wayward Social. Great to have you tuned in tonight here on KFJB-TV. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Get upcoming game alerts. And our next game of Bobcat Girls Basketball coming up on Saturday afternoon. We'll be on the road. 3:30 is tip-off at Waterloo East. Megan Heitman is with us, assistant coach for girls basketball. Big win last night inside 29?
Yeah.
29-point victory last night against Des Moines East. So you complete the sweep, 2-0 against the East Scarlets. Your main takeaway from that game last night?
I think the main takeaway is just getting back into playing basketball. It's been 10 days since our last game, which is too much at this point in the season. And so I think just getting back into it, I think Coach Murphy said multiple times in the locker room, like, we're using this as conditioning. So when we say push, push, and then when you get tired, we will take you out. So I think we accomplished that and kind of shake some of the rust off before we get into the the serious haul of a whole bunch of games now.
Yeah, and that is a little bit of the unfortunate side of having 3 games canceled in 1 week, that there are quite a few weeks going forward that you're going to have 3 games in a week, which usually it's kind of like around the first part of the season and maybe after the New Year break that kind of happens. But to have that like that in the middle of your schedule can be a blessing and a curse, especially with injuries if they happen to pop up. But you're pretty good on that side of things, right?
Yeah, fortunately or maybe unfortunately, we don't have anybody sick or injured right now, so it would have been nice to play 3 games last week because we have everybody available. But, hopefully we just keep on staying that way for the next few weeks and get through. I think we got, 10 games left?
Mm-hmm. So Georgia's coach, you had that basically before the last 10 days you had 1 game. They didn't have a game for about a week and a half before that because of Christmas. As an athlete, how tired were you of just facing other Bobcats? Were you ready for the game last night just to play someone else?
It honestly wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It was a little rough at the beginning, but then it was fine.
She always has fun. She told us that last year.
I can only ever hear Georgia say, when you asked, how's the soccer team going to be next year? And she said, we'll have fun.
You had fun? Okay, good.
Fun. That's
we
fantastic.
can confirm there was fun had last year during the soccer. You guys, you girls are having a lot of fun right now, I would imagine. Yeah. 5-6 on the season. You get right back there to 500 with a win on Saturday. We've got Grinnell right around the corner on Monday. The team just seems like it's really gelling, playing really well, especially on the defensive end and rebounding side. But to counter that, we saw Sydney Capello really come alive last night. She made a couple of really nice shots. So how's everybody kind of coming together?
I think one of our focuses over Christmas break was to just get more confidence in scoring and making sure that people know that we have confidence in them shooting so that they should shoot the ball and then just have more confidence in scoring. And I think on any given night, any one of our girls can blow up for, 10, 15, 20 points, hopefully. And last night was Sydney. I mean, Sydney had 3 threes early on and was knocking it down. She's trying to correct me. She says it was only 2. And then she says...
It was only 2?
Okay.
Hey,
but
I would take it. If she says 3, I made 3. Let's roll with it.
There was
4.
There was also a point where she posted up 2 girls at once, and Coach and I were like, no, take it out. Never mind. Never mind.
Hey, she likes to work inside, though, don't you know?
Hey, I was an inside-out player, so I'm with it.
Jorja, it seems like watching you last night, too, we saw you it seems like you are really more confident on the defensive side than maybe on the offensive side right now. Is that true? Did you feel that way? Because I saw some steals, and helping out on that defensive side. How much pride do you take in the defensive side?
Well, I think defense is fun because it's fun to steal the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
And offense, it was just a little rough for me yesterday.
But you're not always going to have your shot every night, right? No. But you can always bring the defense. That's what I learned a long time ago. Georgia, she's in the nodding portion of the show.
It makes for great TV. So when we look at Georgia coming off the bench again, and 6-footer coming off the bench and having that length, what does that add to the team to have length upon length upon length, that you even have it on the bench as well?
It's extremely helpful. My first few years of coaching, I was the tallest one for 4 years, and I'm finally not anymore. So it's really helpful to have that length because it makes us hard to guard, right? Somebody's going to have a mismatch somewhere, and so if it's, somebody puts somebody tiny on Sydney, for example, okay, post her up. If that they switch them to Millie or Georgia, or I don't know why they would, but Frankie. Fine, you guys go post up. And we kind of run that 4-out, 1-in offense and rotate through who goes down in the middle. And so if you find a mismatch, we'll try and designate who that person in the middle is, and get them in there for score.
Also, while you're one of the top teams in 5A in rebound too, right? That height.
Yes, it is very helpful. And we have a bunch of people on our team that just have a nose to go get rebounds. And I would say like Harper with JV does that too. And so practicing against people who just have a nose to go get the rebound, you have to work to get a rebound in practice. And I think that's helped a lot of people like Jorja. You know, she's going to get noticed if she doesn't get the rebound or she's not boxing out because we have people who will just go get it.
Yeah.
So I think that's helped, you know, having people like that just go after the rebounds has helped those who might not always want to.
Yeah, and you brought up Harper's name, and getting to watch her on the JV side where she gets some extended run, she does some really nice things. And in the limited run that she's had at varsity has also had some good games. And that, again, just shows the growth of the program that I think a couple years ago Harper would have probably had to do almost starter minutes at some level. Now she's getting to really grow. But, Jorja, you said, you know, you like to have fun. Stealing the ball is fun. You're seeing all the faces of your teammates out there. I want you to you have to name their name, who it's the most fun to steal from, and who it's the most fun to block.
Probably Millie.
Okay.
For both?
Yeah.
For both?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is not one of her top 10 favorite games to play, I can tell already.
Millie's on blast. Things are good.
We have a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes they have to be separated.
Yes.
Okay.
We're like, that's not getting as much out of it. You can't be partners.
So Waterloo East is on tap for Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
3:30 is tip-off. You'll see the game right here on KFJB-TV. Waterloo East, always scrappy.
Yes.
They're still that way this year?
They are still very scrappy.
Yeah.
They have probably 2 to 3, like what I would say, like Amera types of just real fast, real quick, getting their nose in there for anything. Obviously, maybe not obviously, but we will be taller than them across the board. But they will be probably much faster than us. So.
And they're going to try to bully ball you a little bit. What I associate it
and they try to. I mean, they'll press and they'll be real physical in their press, and get it into the half court. If we can control that and get it into a half court game and use our height at the basket and post up on them, we'll have some success. But they will try to do a lot of like what Ames did, is just get those steals in the full court press and take it in for layups. So that's the part we have to control. If we can control that, I would really love to beat Waterloo East on Saturday. And then again, when they come to our place and be over 500.
Yeah. And that's another area Dylan and I have talked about is breaking the press this year. And even last night against Des Moines East, you know, more fluidity, I guess would be the word, is getting the ball into the front court year over year. Is it night and day in your eyes to where the team was last year and breaking the press, getting in the front court, and then starting to set up the offense and execute it?
I think that starting to set up the offense is kind of the new part where we've preached that forever. Of once you break it, it's not, you don't have to shoot a layup. If we don't have numbers, pull it out. You did your job, you know, you broke the press. So I think the growth is in these pull it out and set up the offense portion of it. And we still have work to do on being consistent in getting to our spots and breaking the press. There are times when we look amazing doing it, and there's times that we throw it to the third row for some reason. And if we can just get consistently more in those spots when we look good. Millie was saying that when your throw to Sydney that went to the third row last night.
Which I think that was the hit that almost hit somebody. That was.
I think she nailed a cheerleader, honestly.
Okay.
No
I was
wonder
thinking somebody
she's your
nearly got
favorite
nailed.
to block. Yeah, no wonder.
I told her, I was like, I feel like you tried to make a Caitlin Cart pass, but you were at like half court and she's normally full court. You know.
George, what do you know you have to do well on Saturday to beat Waterloo East besides have fun?
Well, Murphy told us that they have like a lot of games this week, and so they'll either be like in really good shape or maybe tired.
Okay.
So we just have to work hard. And
you're gonna tire them out. I like that strategy.
Take care of the ball.
Yeah, take care of the ball. Dylan, I'll leave the last question to you.
It comes down to really on that Waterloo East question that I last year up at East was the best half of basketball I think you played and the worst half of basketball that you played. What can you learn from that? What carries over from year over year of a game like that?
I think it's just, you know, learning from that and our maturity and growth, right? We're another year older. We had, you know, a lot of freshmen last year. We're still pretty young with sophomores. But pulling those quarters together and being consistent from one half to another, I think we're starting to see glimmers of that now. We need to do that when we're playing tougher competition.
Yeah, I agree. No, for sure. Thanks so much to the girls basketball team coming out last week. They were here. Great to see them and appreciate the support. So thank you, ladies.
They're a great bunch.
Should we make Georgia name everybody that's here?
Yeah.
Okay, George, go. First and last name.
Who came out? What their jersey number is? What year are they?
We got Frankie, Ellie, Sydney, Harper, Tanya, and then Millie. And
Okay.
Well,
All right.
We'll give you that.
I think
we'll give you that.
We'll give her that. Hey, best of luck Saturday. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Megan Heitman with us here tonight, as well as Jorja Janssen on Bobcat Live. When we come back, we'll talk swimming. The boys doing great things this year. We'll break that down with Coach Loupee when we come back right here on KFJB-TV.
You'll find the perfect mattress for you at McGregor's Furniture and Mattress. You choose the firmness, comfort, and support level, all at a great price. McGregor's always has a great selection of sofas, recliners, dining room, and bedroom furniture to help you live and relax in comfort and style. Their staff will help you find just what you're looking for. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, is open 7 days a week. They're proud to support Bobcat Athletics.
You should never have to wait after ordering new appliances. At Penn's Appliance, you wouldn't. With an incredible selection in stock and ready to install today. Our friendly team is here to help you pick the perfect set to match your style. And let our professional technicians install and set up your new appliances, often delivering the very next day. Stop in today, see all the new features, and find your new look at Penn's Appliance. For sales and service of everything appliance, go see the Pence team.
As you walk inside, you know right away the place for fun is Wayward Social. There's always plenty of bowling action, so plan for your next outing to include bowling at Wayward Social. Also, meet your friends for lunch, dinner, or your favorite beverages. You will also absolutely love their daily lunch specials, Monday through Friday, including endless pizza by the slice. You choose the toppings. Wayward Social is now open at 11:30 a.m., 7 days a week. Wayward Social on South 6th Street in Marshalltown.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Bobcat Live at Wayward Social. Thanks for coming out tonight. We've got Charlie Gilbertson, Lincoln Barker here. You guys are part of the 200 medley league, right?
Yes.
Yeah? And you haven't lost this year? That's what Zach was telling me.
We have not.
You have not. That's good. Lincoln, I'm going to have you bring that closer just a little bit there on that mic, just so all your family and friends can hear you out there. All right, so tell me a little bit about the 200. What makes it so challenging, and how you, Charlie, have been able to help in that effort to be undefeated? Yeah.
I love the butterfly, and I've been working on it all year. The past couple of years, the dolphin kick has helped me a lot, improving the amount of dolphins I do and the speed with it. It has helped me a lot, and so I can get down in about 24, almost 23 seconds for 50, so that helps out the relay a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So Lincoln, what do you think you guys do really well to be so successful in that 200 medley?
Just practice. We practice really hard.
Yeah.
I'd say we're probably the most hardworking team at the high school. I go that far.
Yeah, that's awesome. So being able to, I know Coach Loupee has alluded to it, just what he kind of puts you through. What's a practice like today for you that gets you ready for meets? What did you do today that the coach challenged you?
Just today, all gas, no brakes. We don't let up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Coach, what do you think when you watch the medley?
It's the medley's over the years. The medley's been one of my favorites. It's the first event of the meet, and it's always good to start off with a win. 10, 15 years ago, we had a real hot medley, and it's just the momentum it builds for the next 10 events is really exciting, and to have all 4 of the guys are juniors. We're looking for a good taper from them. They've all been swimming together since they were age group kids, so excited to see what we do this year. But then just kind of in the back of my head, I'm already kind of figuring out how to abuse them to get more out of them next year.
So how do you compare to other teams in the 200 medley? Are you just head and shoulders above the rest of the competition? What's like a time?
Have you looked at quick test?
15? No.
15. Yeah, we're
something like that.
We're in the 15.
Okay.
And we'll have a real good test tomorrow. We go swim Ames. Ames is like the number 5 team in the state. They're going to be a real good measuring stick for us tomorrow to see where we're at, because I will tell the guys, the guy in the lane next to you is somebody that's going to be swimming at the state meet and could very probably be on the podium as well. So the idea tomorrow is stick your head on somebody's hip and stay with them.
New year, obviously, like all the other sports, had to deal with the weather a little bit here, but how's the season been going?
How's the season going?
I'd say it's been going pretty good.
Yeah.
We've done real well. I don't think I was just visiting with a couple of parents in the back. I hadn't even realized we hadn't lost a dual meet yet. So and we won our Bobcat invite. So we enjoy winning. It's fun to. It's easier to work them when we're winning meets, and they can see that the hard work is paying off.
Yeah.
So I think the season has gone really well. I like where our top guys are at. I like where we're seated. They're swimming fairly well. Pretty tired. I'm kind of hard on Lincoln. He anchors the medley relay, and then he crawls out of the water and goes right into the 200 free. And that's an event we expect him to qualify and stay for. So he has maybe 6 minutes of recovery time before he's swimming that 200 free. And then last night at our meet, he swam it, and it wasn't the time we were looking for. And I just asked, I said, "Did you take it out?" And he just, "Coach, I'm dead." And I said, "Okay, that's a good thing then. That's fine. We'll look for a great taper."
So what are all the events you do compete in then? So you mentioned the 200s back to back.
The 200 relay, then I do a 200 free, and then 500 free, and there's a relay at the end, 4x1.
Okay. Charlie, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm also in the medley relay, and then I do the 100 fly, the 100 back, and then I'm also in the 4x1. But Coach has been very fun this year and puts me in the JV 200 freestyle and makes me swim the 200-yard butterfly. It's been 4 meets, and so that's because the freestyle, you can do any stroke in that as long as you consistently do that stroke throughout the event.
Okay.
And so that's why I can do the butterfly and the 200-yard freestyle for the JV.
Okay, all right. So you're really putting it to him over here.
Charlie's got no matter what I do to Charlie's always got a smile on his face. He loves to swim. And Charlie, if I tell Charlie we're going to do something that's going to make you faster, he's all in.
Yeah.
So we've had him swim the 200 butterfly several times. So when that translates to the hundreds, it's more of a pure sprint. If you can swim a good, smooth 200 fly, what was your time last night? 2:03. 2:03. That's a good time. 200 free, and he's doing it in butterfly. So if you can take out, his first 100 was 56, and he comes back and he goes 2:03, then 100 fly is like candy. It's nothing. And so we've been trying to condition him to that, so he thinks the 100's a sprint.
So how long does that take, realistically, to get somebody up to speed to be able to do that then? To be conditioned well enough to improve those times?
Well, I tell you, it's something I've struggled with through career coaching in Marshalltown, and these are 2 great examples. People at the top of the swimming world in Iowa and most everywhere, they're year-round swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
Waukee they have 40 kids that swim year-round. That's all they do. And we have Charlie runs cross country, he swims, and he runs track. Lincoln plays football, he swims. We're going to get him out for track. You know, there's only, I think on our squad, there's only 2 kids that all they do is swim. And they only do that for 13 weeks.
Wow.
So we've got 13 weeks to get in shape, and I kind of beat on them pretty hard. And I tell them, I said, I'm going to abuse you for 13 weeks so you could feel good for about 1. and they buy what I'm selling.
So far, right?
Yeah. And the fact that we compete on a larger stage in the state meet, and we always have representation against teams that most of them are swimming year-round, that's a testament to how hard these kids work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Timeline is kind of ticking down your conference and all that kind of stuff right around the corner. How long are we away from that?
Well, this week's been kind of rough. We lost senior night last week, so we started Mason City last night. We go to Ames tomorrow for our second last duel, and then we go back to Ames on Saturday for conference. Tuesday we have our last dual meet against Union, and then we've got 10 days to get ready for districts.
Yeah. It's going to be action-packed here, huh? Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's kind of like wrestling. I mean, it could be such a grueling grind on your body. How do you kind of stay healthy and energized?
Just making sure I see the trainer every day. Avery, he's been a great help. Been scraping us out, doing cupping, to therapy to help you with your muscle pain.
Yeah.
Making sure we're nice and loose for our big meets. That's been a great help, and just, I don't know, occasional night practice like tonight. Well, I shouldn't say nice, but a little bit less than usual helps to make sure we're nice and ready for a meet.
Oh, I'm sure, like stretching and doing the cupping and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're constantly moving. You've got to be. Is that one of your big things you do at the beginning of practice? You stretch out and that kind of stuff?
Not necessarily. It's highly encouraged to do so. Very, very highly encouraged to do so because there's time before practice to do that.
Yeah.
And it's very highly encouraged to do it after. But once we get to taper, then that's where we really take concern and we stretch, and then we do rub downs, make sure we get all our knots out before we high competition.
Yeah. So, Lincoln, what are you doing? Like yoga on the weekends and staying loose and everything?
Well, Sunday's our day of rest and just push fluids, I guess.
Yeah.
Chill.
What's more grinding? Because I already know the answer. Football or swimming?
Swimming.
He takes a lot of pride in that, though, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Very much
but it'll pay off in the end. I know, Coach, you had some hopes about getting some of your teams in competitions qualified for state. Charlie, what about you? How are you feeling? Kind of a goal maybe for the rest of the season here on out?
Yeah, goals for state, make state in the 100 fly, which should be a guaranteed. I've made it the last couple of years by the skin of my teeth, and that will not happen this year. I will definitely be a lot better ranked into it. And then the medley relay and the 4x1, those really should qualify most definitely. Yeah, and those will be good. We'll try to get on the near the podium as much as we possible and get as much points as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lincoln, how about you? Kind of goals, outlook for the rest of the season here?
Qualify individually and do my part in the relays, and I'm going for the record, one of the school records, 500.
Awesome. What's the record?
What is the record?
450.
450?
Yeah. 52nd.
Okay.
He went 453 last year.
Okay. So. All right. So he's right there, huh?
He's right there. We rest him.
Awesome.
We rest him, and we're looking for some pops.
Awesome. Well, best of luck the rest of the season. Thanks for coming on tonight, guys. Yep. Mike Loupee, head coach for Bobcat Swimming, as well as Charlie Gilbertson and Lincoln Barker with us here. Thanks so much to our producer, Zach, and support out here at Bobcat Live here tonight at Wayward Social. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I'm Brandon Lewis. Have a great rest of your night.